Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Monday Matters, where I offer additional insights based on my church's Sunday sermon. And then I invite you to experiment with some practical applications. All right, so this week's sermon came from the book of Luke, chapter 1, verses 39 to 45. And the thought was embracing the expectation. Now, here's what's happening. Mary has just realized through the Spirit that she's pregnant with a boy. And she decides to go and visit her cousin, Elizabeth, who's also pregnant. Now, Elizabeth doesn't know yet about Mary. But when she gets there, Elizabeth's unborn child leaps in her belly, right? And then she gets a revelation of her own, and she calls Mary the mother of my Lord. Now, she knows that her own prophecy will soon be fulfilled when her son prepares the way for Mary's son. And then she begins to bless Mary, not only for this honor, but for embracing the expectation and not questioning the possibility of it. Now, even though Mary had asked for explanation of what was going to happen, she still trusted in God's power and his promise. Unlike Zechariah, Elizabeth's husband. Now, he asked for proof when he found out that this was even going to happen or if it was even true, right? I mean, his wife was past the childbearing age. Now, what happened to him was a whole nother story. But the point here is that both women were in unlikely positions to have children. Well, not just unlikely, but socially unfavorable during that time. Even now. But most people would shame and judge both of them, especially Mary. But Elizabeth celebrated her cousin's willingness to say yes. And that yes would eventually take her from a position of disgrace to a position of honor. Now let's go back and just look at Zechariah for a second. Now don't judge him too harshly, right? Maybe he had been wanting to be a father, and raising a child with his wife could have been a lifelong dream of theirs. Maybe they held out hope for a while. And then with time and circumstances being what they were, his expectations dwindled. Can you relate to that? I sure can. God, I know you said you would provide all my needs, but why can't I seem to get ahead in this situation I'm in? My health just keeps getting worse. I keep getting involved with the wrong person. Same face or a different face, same disappointment, right? I finally get my bills almost paid off, and then boom, the car or the house, something throws me back in debt again. Then we find ourselves spending more time thinking about what cannot work instead of what can work. And when we're feeling deflated, we are not going to take the appropriate action to go beyond whatever our current results are. Now, if that's you, Pastor gave 4 ideas to implement. Now, 1 is to embrace an elevated expectation, no matter what the circumstance or the situation or the condition is. Now, how do you do that, you asked? Well, it does help if you have a vision that you're absolutely in love with, right? Not only to keep your thoughts elevated, but also to keep you moving in the right direction. Now, the second is to believe and trust in divine initiation. See, Mary had something to bring forth. Maybe there's something in you seeking to be expressed, but like Mary, you don't feel up to the task. You don't feel qualified, right? You're not whatever enough. But Mary believed, and the Most High overshadowed all those self-limiting thoughts and initiated the how. See, the how is not even your concern, only the what. What can I do to move me in the direction of my dream? Yeah. Now, next, he said, God will raise up someone to support you during this process, like a coach who can help you define and design your vision. Make sure that it contains all the elements necessary to bring you the exact results that you desire, and can also surround you with the support necessary, right? All the appropriate structures of support for those times when those thoughts are going to come up for you, right? Those old patterns get repeated. I call them old wallpaper patterns. Yeah, because they've been there so long, you don't even know they're there. Now, lastly, he talked about the language of elevated expectation, right? Pause to thank God for what you do have. Sometimes you just got to encourage yourself. So I invite you to find an affirmation and some I am statements. You can borrow a couple of mine, like every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. This is what it looks like when this is all coming together. Yeah. Or the content of my life right now is just a curriculum for my evolution. And then some really good I am statements. You all know this one. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, you is smart, you is kind, and you is important. Funny, yes, but you get the idea, right? I'm strong. I am strong. I can do this. Yeah. I'm a child of God. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and so on and so on. So now, if any of this resonates with you and you'd like to workshop some of these ideas I mentioned, I invite you to register for a live training that I'm offering this Sunday, and it's free. So I will help you dream and think about what you would really love in your life, right? Because the time you do have should be invested in the things that really matter to you. Because remember, I've said this before, life does not happen to you. It happens with you and through you. And in this training, I'm going to invite you to put on and test out some imaginal futures. So you'll learn that through your own longings and your discontents from the past, and by shaping a vision for your future and moving towards that while you're coming from that, which I'm going to help you with, don't worry about that. But you can live a life that you've been dreaming of. Now, not just in your mind, but in the world of results where you actually live. So listen, if you keep breathing 365 days, you're going to have some kind of life. Why not make it one you don't need a vacation to get away from? Now, I'm going to post the link here, right? But you must register to get the Zoom link. Now, feel free to share that registration link with your family, with your friends, with your colleagues, and anyone you know that would be interested in embracing the expectation of a better 2022. Now, even if you've been to another one of my trainings, this one is going to be a little more in-depth, right? So now, as always, please remember, it's not enough to just agree with the Sunday sermon. It's what you do on Monday that matters. All right, go ahead and click that link, and I'll see you Sunday. Love y'all so much. Bye.